Hey guys, how's it going? Today I wanted to do a different video. Today I wanted to show you possibly what DLC 3 would look like as we're going to be in Stalingrad. Now before I wanted to get into it, I wanted to show you somewhat of what some of the older maps of other zombie maps would be like. So let me explain. We've got here World at War and we have a map called Verrucht, but the Verrucht map was actually based off of a multiplayer map which is called Asylum, I think, or something like that. So it was based off of Asylum, and here you have very similar aspects about the map. As you can see there, we have the fountain in the middle. You have how the map was organised around here. You got the staircase that leads down into this little room here. Does look different. That's where you have Mule Kick for the remake of the map, and you have different areas of the map which you can definitely see are very similar to the original map of Verrucht. I'm not sure where the starting room is, but it's around there somewhere. And you have up there where double tap would be. So I would imagine actually the starting room would be just there. Now obviously some of these are going to be a lot different, like obviously you're going to have different aspects and aesthetics about the map. Here you're going to have where the power would be, so I believe right there would be where the power would be, and then over here is where you're going to have the music Easter egg with the toilets, etc. You sort of got an idea of how the map's going to be laid out. So if you got an idea of how Verrucht was made from this multiplayer map, how you've got the fountain in the middle and then you've got the surrounding areas around the outside, that's somewhat how they base Verrucht from a map from multiplayer. Now let's go ahead over it and look into how Der Rise, or Der Rise, however you want to pronounce it, was set into zombies from a multiplayer map. So right here you have the map where Der Rise were actually set off with a multiplayer map called Nightfire. Now if we go out here we can see how they've got the aesthetics of the map, they've got everything, the feel of it, all to go into Der Rise. Not a lot of the actual Der Rise was actually, I keep pronouncing it wrong, but not a lot of Der Rise is actually similar to this, because this multiplayer map is a lot bigger than the original map. But you can definitely see where some of the areas were that they decided to take and put into the zombies multiplayer map. So here for instance you have where I believe the teleporter would be for teleporter C. That's the building to the side where it's on fire. I believe up here would be where the catwalk is. And then you have up there, we try and run around there. So right here you have where the lab area would be to the side of the spawn area. So you got, obviously it's going to look a lot different, but you get an idea of how they implemented this into the zombies map. So right there is the spawn area. We have like that area over there, etc. Where you have like the Gobblegum machine if you're in Black Ops 3. Over here you have the little lab area. Obviously looks a lot different, but you can definitely see like the staircase is all the same. You come up here, this looks very familiar. You go to the left here, then you got this little area. This is where one of the pipe machines would be. And if you come up around here, this is where normally you would have the power that you turn on. The bridge would lower down. You get the idea. So this is how they would sort of set up the map. Everything is very in relation to each other. So it's, if you got like teleporter C over there like it does there, teleporter C faces the bridge area, which it does also in the multiplayer map. Everything is in relation, everything is very similar. And the reason I wanted to show off these two maps first is because I wanted you to see how they would base Verrucht and Der Rise off of the multiplayer maps. I wanted you to see the similarities, the differences they make in everything. I wanted you to see just how they do it.
Stay low and follow me.
As you see here at the moment we're in Stalingrad and you have all the buildings along the outside. It's not actually that well made because they don't really put all the effort into doing the outside aesthetics, just like on the map where we actually play. But you can get an idea of sort of what they're going to go for with the feel and everything with Stalingrad. And in this one we're in actually Berlin, Germany. But the reason I wanted to show this one off quick is just because you have the Brandenburg Gate right here, which you're going through right now, which is a very historical moment. And it's the feel and derelict look of everything that I believe is going to be very much so in the Stalingrad map. I'm hoping that with Stalingrad we're going to have this. If you just look at this map as it is right now, you have the broken down Brandenburg Gate. You have all of the buildings that are derelict, they're broken down, only the fronts are facing up and everything, the rest of it's been bombed down. If we have a look over to this building over here, obviously you can see where the roof's been blown off and everything. It's a very dark and dingy map, and I want that feel for Stalingrad DLC 3 or Volgograd or whatever they're going to actually call the map, because it's such a great feel when you have something like that. And I believe for its era and for its time and everything, it should have that sort of dark and dingy feel to it. This is why I wanted to show off this map in particular, because it has that feel of being dark and dingy, and there's a few more maps I want to show off that has the same feel, might give you a different opinion on what the map might be based on and how it's going to look. So right here we have another location in Berlin, Germany. Here we have the Reichstag, which is on another map called Downfall, I think it is. Yeah, so we're on Downfall. This is the Reichstag in Berlin, Germany. You have, I believe that's the Brandenburg Gate over there, or it would be a bit behind it if you're going to look for location-wise. But this is another map that I think is gonna. It has the same feel to it, the same dark and dingy feel that it should have with the Stalingrad DLC 3 map. Alright, I think this is going to be the last map I'm going to take a proper look into, because I don't know any other maps that might portray what we're trying to look at. I'm going to go in this in first person rather than going in the free mode. I might go into a little bit of free mode in a minute. But basically, this map is Revolution. It was actually set in Stalingrad as well. I forgot about this map actually being set in Stalingrad. But it's set on the actual location of the area of Stalingrad. I remember this map very well. I actually really like this multiplayer map. But we have random things like trucks around here with the Russian writing and everything. We have propaganda posters everywhere. Like, I mean, everywhere on this map. So, if you want to get a feel for what the DLC 3 map is going to be like, I would say base most of your information off of this map. Again, there we have the propaganda, we have the PPSH and the bottle of whatever alcohol that is. Okay, we're going to go into spectator mode now. So, over here you have like water, like a lake that surrounds where I believe Stalingrad would be. And I'm guessing that this would be geographically correct in terms of like Stalingrad. They've probably got like some sort of a lake or something around it. There'll obviously be a few tricks between real life and this game, but you can get an idea of how they made this map in the first place. Like I said, we've got the propaganda posters there that's actually on the brick walls. We have that. We have the Russian writing right there. So it's, obviously, because it's in Russia, there's a very Russian feel to it. What else have we got? We got, again, like the Russian trucks. We got loads of posters over here. And we just got, again, derelict buildings everywhere. And somewhere that's, you know, quite frightening to be if you were there at the time. But in general, we have a map that's actually in Stalingrad. This map, if you want to go check it out yourself, is called Revolution on multiplayer. You also have the campaign mission called Vendetta, which is also on Stalingrad as well. But if you look at this map, if you take some of the feels for it, like I believe it'll be very much aesthetic wise like the other maps we looked at. That would in Berlin is going to be very dark and dingy, like I've already said. But at the same time, I feel like we're going to have things like these propaganda posters. We're going to have things laying around the map like these trucks. We've already seen trucks in other maps in Black Ops 3, so I would imagine we'd have more. But obviously going to be like more Russian trucks. And yeah, it's going to be very much like this map. Don't forget that Black Ops 3 is playing a lot with multiverse at the moment, so we could be seeing Stalingrad in a completely different and new universe that we've never actually seen before. One that's completely different to the one we're actually used to at the moment. But I think this is actually quite interesting how they got the lake around the side there, and they've got the little sort of incomplete statue thing right there. I believe that might even be part of the map. I'm not too sure. And like I said, I don't think any of the maps on the World at War is actually set in Stalingrad, but I believe that this is the most accurate one we're going to get. Honestly, if you try to imagine how they made the map Nightfall into Der Riesen, if you then try and put that same sort of process into how they're going to make this map into Stalingrad or DLC 3, whatever it's they're going to call it, I'm sure they're going to call it something a lot more interesting than just Stalingrad or Volgograd or whatever they want to call it. But if you try and put into practice and try and imagine how they're going to make that map, then I believe there's going to very much be like this map here. Again, if we go into all the buildings, it just doesn't let go of the Russian propaganda and the feel that you're in Stalingrad. Like I've already said, I think it's going to be dark and dingy. I think there are going to be quite a few buildings that are going to be bombed like the one we got right here in shot. And in general, I hope it's going to be more like these World at War maps, which is very scary to actually play. It's a nice experience to actually experience all of these bombed buildings. And in my opinion, these maps we had on World at War were a lot better than the maps we have now in Black Ops 3 multiplayer or any of the previous games. Anyway, I think I've said all I needed to say, so I'm going to end the video right here. If you like this video, then go ahead, leave a like rating, subscribe for more zombies content and everything like that. Put your comments down below what you think and everything. I'll be reading all the comments to see what you guys think. But for now, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.